Let's bring in Mary Kay Cabot. There's a lot of juice behind her. She joins us on the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, Call Kyle Right hotline. Mary Kay Cabot from the Cleveland Plain Dealer and Cleveland.com. Mary Kay, good morning. Let me ask you this. They had Albert Breer on yesterday, and they're talking about different things in the afternoon about what they'd like to do with this Browns team as we get ready to see the schedule later on tonight. And I think we're kind of caught in a crossroads because I think there's a lot of people planning going, hey, they don't really believe in the quarterback situation. Maybe they should lay down and get ready for 2027. I'm going, man, this is not a team that's acted like they are getting ready to lose some football games in 2027, considering who they hired and everything else they've done. Are you reading tea leaves that they believe that they're more competitive than what a lot of people think they are?
Absolutely 100%. The organizational philosophy heading into 2026 is to win as many games as possible. This is not about the 2027 draft pick. This is not about developing a young quarterback. This is about winning. And their guiding light in terms of choosing their starting quarterback will be based on that philosophy. If it's Shedeur, fine. If it's Deshaun, fine. It's going to be whoever gives them the best chance to win. And that is because they have a roster that can win some football games this season if they have a quarterback that can pull it together. And it doesn't have to be a top 8 quarterback. It can be a top 16 quarterback. But they need good quarterback play to win some football games. So, yes, I think absolutely 100% that's where they're going with this season. I've heard Jimmy Haslam absolutely say it at the owners' meetings that he expects them to win more games this season than 5, and that is the way that they are going. They are trying to win. That's why they're not trading Myles Garrett. That's why they haven't traded any of their other quality veterans. They're going out there to try to win games.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us on the show. So then I have to follow it up with this. Give me a percent chance. June 1st is coming up in 2.5 weeks. What are the chances that Myles is still a Cleveland Brown after June 1st when the season is going on?
I would say pretty darn close to 100%. You can never say never, but Andrew Berry has been adamant, and Jimmy Haslam has been adamant about the fact that they're not trading Myles Garrett, that they do feel like they're poised to kind of take off once they figure out the quarterback situation. I mean, if this team grows up a little bit this year and then a little bit more next year, they should be able to win some significant games next year if they have a quarterback. This year, maybe they can flirt with 8. Maybe they can flirt with 9. Maybe they can remain in the conversation for a wild card spot deep into the season and then really kind of take off next year. Well, Myles is still going to be Myles Garrett next year, and they don't want someone else to benefit from that. They want that for themselves. So I would say right now at this point, still pretty close to 100%.
All right, Mary Kay, does it matter to you how often people have talked about the upcoming schedule this year and how, quote, easy it's going to be when we know the NFL, there is such a topsy-turvy way that the bad teams turn into good teams, the good teams turn into bad teams yearly?
Well, when I've looked at their opponents from, for 2026 and some things that happened in 2025, you got 5 teams on that slate that went 8 and 9. And some of those teams had quarterback issues where they lost their quarterback for the season like the Falcons did. Michael Penix missed the final 8 games. You look at the Colts, and Daniel Jones ruptured an Achilles and missed the final 4 games. Those teams were on the cusp of making the playoffs. So, yes, the Browns are only facing 3 winning teams from 2025 and 3 teams that made the playoffs. But there are extenuating circumstances when you look at what these teams might possibly become in 2026. You've got John Harbaugh coaching the Giants. You'll have Jackson Dart in his 2nd season. We all, I think, know what John Harbaugh is capable of when he's coaching a football team. You've got 2 other 2025 draft picks that are quarterbacks moving into their 2nd seasons in Cam Ward with the Titans and Tyler Shuck with the Saints. So those guys could make that 2nd-year leap, perhaps. You look at the Raiders. You've got Fernando Mendoza. Who knows what he'll be able to do in his 1st season? So strength of schedule doesn't always hold up the way that it looks at the beginning of the season. And I think there are some reasons to believe that maybe it might not be quite as easy as it looks.
Do you think Todd Monken and the coaching staff would prefer every week at 1 o'clock? And conversely, what does Jimmy Haslam want?
Well, of course, you want your team to be in prime time. You want your players to get that kind of exposure so that they make Pro Bowls and things like that. You want to be contending. You want to be out there. And Jimmy is certainly someone who wants to show that he's doing a good job. So I think that them being back in prime time is absolutely something they're hoping for. And I would think that by next year, they'll get some of those premium games.
Not Sunday Night Football, though.
Well,
Please, not Sunday Night Football.
It could be Tuesday Night Football by next year.
That's true. I like the song "Waiting All Day for Sunday Night." I'm like, man, I've done that one time in the last decade, and it sucks. I don't want to wait all day for Sunday night ever again. Mary Kay Cabot joining us on the show. Yeah, real quick, what do you think of the Thanksgiving Eve game, the Thanksgiving Day games, the 3 slate, and then the Black Friday game?
Are you going to ignore your family, Mary Kay?
Are you going to ignore your family?
Asking.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, but with more and more international games and with the NFL heading towards 18 games, I think it's just something that we all have to get used to. Now, I will say this. I love it when there's a football game on and I don't have to be actually there covering it and I can watch a game. So when I have those opportunities, I really enjoy them. So I really actually don't mind some of those games, and I love watching games on the holidays, again, when I'm not covering them. So I don't mind all of that. I mean, bring it on for me in terms of NFL games. I would watch one at, of course, 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday.
Could the schedule at all dictate who starts at quarterback for this football team?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Like I said, I think this team made a decision at some point this offseason where they said, look, we have enough here to go out and win some games. They successfully completely overhauled their offensive line. Not an easy thing to do in one offseason, but they managed to do it. They kept their defense largely intact and added some key other pieces. They've got some guys growing up over there, too, a little bit in Carson and Mason heading into their second seasons. And then they added their skill players and whatnot. So, no, I think that they really did decide at some point this offseason. I think they probably sat down and actually made the conscious decision, we have enough to win here, so let's go out and see what we can do. And that will be the guiding light. And once again, we don't know who that's going to be yet. Just because someone is ahead right now or emerged ahead, as I reported recently, doesn't mean they're going to stay ahead. That's why it's a competition. So let's see how it plays out. But whoever Todd Monken feels can go out there and win the most games is who is going to win this job.
All these leaks keep coming out. How much intrigue would there be if we opened up at home with the Falcons week 1?
Well, I think that's one of the more intriguing games. On our podcast yesterday, we kind of ranked and spotlighted some of the more intriguing non-AFC North games, and that was certainly one of them. So Kevin Stefanski coming back here to the lakefront, especially if Shedeur is starting, I think that would bring a lot of drama and fireworks and emotions out. So, that one could be very, very interesting. But there are others. I think there are there are a few grudge matches and some really key matchups.
All right, Mary Kay, I want to ask you one question. We have a list now because, John, our wonderful young producer, working his ass off, and he keeps sending us clips of all these different people coming out of the woodwork of who should start at quarterback for the Browns this year. And the latest one was Bernie. Bernie's obviously not came out of the woodwork, but Lima asked the question going, okay, guys, when do we put a lid on it? Because we can't keep having the same conversation about who should start every day when it comes to all these different guys. So when do we put a lid on it? So Bernie is in the club of people who can give their opinion on who we care about, who give their opinion on who should start, right? I had the fans, the callers, which are the same thing. I had all Cleveland sports media, weekend hosts, full-time hosts, doesn't matter, you, Lloyd, everybody, right? Bernie, Joe Thomas, John Greco, Herb Street, down the line.
Get Hoyer on there, too.
Hoyer, yes, I'm putting Hoyer on the list. Let me ask you this, Mary Kay. Should Johnny Manziel should his opinion be on the list of people we care about and we play on the radio of who should start for the Cleveland Browns at quarterback this year?
Well, here's the thing. When I hear all of these people weighing in on who should start at quarterback this year, the key thing is none of those people really know the inner workings of what is going on with this football team. Even though some of them used to play for this football team, maybe some of them used to coach this football team, nobody really knows exactly what is going on in that film room. Nobody knows what's going on in the meeting rooms. Nobody knows who is taking the coaching. People don't know this. So these guys, everybody can have an opinion. And when it comes to my opinion in saying that they should just have named Deshaun QB1 to let this thing get going, it was just about that. It was about the process of getting the first team working together. If I had been told or in my reporting discovered that Shedeur was nicely ahead and doing a really nice job in all of these practices and getting the first team reps and looking like maybe he's going to win the job, then I would have said the same thing about him. The same thing. Let him go out there and get the work done with the starters. That's what it's about. But none of these other people that are weighing in on this and so vociferously talking about this, they don't know what's going on. So none of those opinions really, truly matter. It really matters what's going on inside those walls in Berea.
So is that a no for Johnny Manziel?
It's kind of a no for all of them.
Oh,
really.
I love it. I love it. No, I dig Mary Kay. That's fine. I just wanted to know because the more I think about it, the more like, maybe I should put Johnny in there, but I don't want to. Okay.
I just had a quick question just because J.C. Treader and the Players Union, they are noticing that the World Cup venues are going to away from taking notice of the grass surfaces at World Cup. Like they're going to grass surfaces when they wouldn't otherwise have been. So the NFL, they're getting turf, but then for the soccer matches, they're going to grass. Is this something that the Haslams would be open to, or is it just going to be artificial turf no matter what?
Well, I think the NFLPA is making the union is making a huge push towards grass. So I think that's going to be a big issue over the next couple of years. And I'm sure that JC and the players are going to push really, really hard for that. And I'm sure there's data to support it. So it's definitely something to watch. And I would think that, yes, that Jimmy would be open to that. I don't know for sure yet. I haven't asked him that, but I would think he would be. We
said you would answer this. I want to play this Charles Barkley right after the Cavs game. I know you watch all Cleveland sports. So here is Mary Kay. Here is Charles Barkley about Max Strus in the post game on Inside the NBA on ESPN last night. Hit it.
Max Strus played great. Okay. I'm thinking what everybody's saying. That's a pretty man.
I don't think everybody's thinking that.
Can I ask you a question? Yes, you can. What are you attracted to him about him? I'm not attracted to him, but I can. You said he's attractive. He's a good-looking man. And what are you attracted about his good looks? His face. His face? His face. He's a good-looking man. Ponytail, too. You like the ponytail? You like the fact that he's wearing and the headband? Ponytail, boo-boo. A T-shirt? I told y'all about the T-shirt. I told you. I don't believe in the man bun thing. But is a T-shirt?
But you're able to overlook that. In this case.
Listen, man, don't be hate. That's a pretty man.
We don't just value your opinion on sports. We value your opinion on everything, and people know that. We've asked you wild questions throughout our history together. Is Max Strus good-looking, a pretty man? Because there was actually a vicious debate off the air about this in this studio.
Oh, well, I wish I could have heard that. I did hear that live last night, and I was laughing so hard. I thought that was the funniest exchange, especially when one of them said, Bert, I'm surprised that's your takeaway from this interview. So I thought it was so funny. But I will say this. It's not the first time that it has been brought to my attention that perhaps Max Strus is aesthetically pleasing.
Whoa! There you go. There you go. Mary Kay, thank you so much. So wait, you have people texting you about Max Strus?
Me, yes.
I think he's taken right now. I saw his girlfriend before one of the games, so I don't think Max is a free agent. Remember the Bachelorette a few years ago who was scorned on the actual show.
Right.
She was hollering at Max Strus
as well.
Now, again, just to clarify here, I'm not saying that I think that Max Strus is a pretty man. I'm saying that it has been brought to my attention before last night by people that I know that perhaps maybe he is a good-looking man. And I will also say that I think that Charles Barkley spoke for a lot of women in Cleveland.
Mary Kay Cabot. On the Wise Heart Right, we make it right. Call Kyle Right hotline. Mary Kay, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Mary Kay Cabot joining us on the show. Outstanding as always. Outstanding as always.